Okay, so here we're going to do a brief demo of NarrativeWave and really its specific application for Long Road Energy. Long Road Energy are an owner-operator with more than 50 wind, solar, and battery energy storage sites. And NarrativeWave have helped them over the past year or so to move away from manual ad hoc performance analysis and asset management to proactive automated processes for basically identifying and dealing with issues that they have across their portfolio. And our flexible builders, our event system, and our dashboards have helped them do just that. And those are the three things we'll touch on today. You can actually find a full webinar with Long Road where we go into quite a lot of detail of the actual events, actual issues that we've identified and resolved together with Long Road. You can find that on our YouTube channel here. Okay, but I'm going to start with our events listing page here. So NarrativeWave is a system largely based around detecting interesting stuff. So what we're looking at here is a list of events that basically reflect issues that have been identified in the analyses that are running in the background. So filters on the left-hand side allowing you to focus on the events that you're particularly interested in. So a site manager might choose their site, or you might choose the events that are assigned to you. And these events basically have a high-level information about what the issues are. So the name of the event, the start and end, the asset, the workflow. So here, Long Road have prescribed the workflow statuses that they're more interested in, including the priorities that they want to set against these issues. You can also assign to users and leave comments. Okay, so I'm going to go into one of these. This is a priority 3 turbine underperforming event. And the basic concept here is essentially to show the user all of the information that they need to be able to first understand why this event has been created, and then to be able to perform some kind of next step, right, to get that issue resolved. So that might be assigning it to a technician, or informing the OEM, or creating a work order, or something like this. But in this case, we've raised a turbine underperformance issue. This is a very classical way of doing turbine performance analysis. Here, these gray lines basically represent the acceptable range of turbine performance based on its history. So anything outside of this gray area is determined as underperformance, which we're flagging in red. These subsequent charts should give the user more information about why that might have happened. So here we're flagging these light green dots refer to this warning that was active at the time, blade load fault detected. So that's likely to be the issue here. We've got lots of other charts, again, that can be configured to do exactly what the clients want them to do, that are going to give you more information about what might be happening. So we've got a wind rose here, we've got ice on the blade checks here, we've got wind anemometer misalignment, we've got nacelle misalignment. So that's all geared towards giving the user the most kind of up-to-date and useful information. They can then assign to a user and move that issue on to the site or asset management or a technician to actually resolve the issue. Okay, so I just want to kind of touch quickly on how you actually build those analyses. We've alluded to the fact that NarrativeWave is very flexible and transparent, and I just kind of want to show you what we mean by that. Here, this is what we call the insight tree. This is one of the ways that our users can build their own analyses. So this is no code, and it basically is geared towards engineers who know the most about their assets, right? But don't necessarily write code day to day. But they're the ones that you want to be kind of configuring these checks because they understand the engineering the best. Okay, so here what Long Road have done is they've set up a check for, is the turbine offline? And if not, let's check if it's derated. And if not, we're going to check for underperformance. That's what we saw in the previous chart. If there is underperformance, we should go a step further and say, okay, why was there underperformance. So they've got a check here for nacelle misalignment. Nacelle misalignment is where a turbine is not quite facing towards the direction of the wind. So it's slightly out of the incoming wind, and therefore it's going to perform less well. So here you might want to do an extra check. Let's add a step here. So I'm going to check for pitch anomaly here. I'm going to search for my pitch anomaly module. I'm going to name it pitch. I'm going to save it. And so now I'm going to say, all right, if there's no nacelle misalignment, I'm going to check for pitch anomalies. And I'm going to kind of reorchestrate this tree to do the check that I want it to do. So here we've got underperformance and pitch anomaly. The outcome is then underperformance with pitch anomaly. So that immediately gives the user an indication of not only what was observed, but what the root cause is likely to be. That speeds things up a huge amount in terms of asset management, deploying technicians. So you can see that a pitch anomaly, by the way, is when the wind turbine blades aren't angling in the kind of most optimal way. So there's a check in the background that does that. Each of these boxes basically relates to a piece of Python code, which is accessible to the user, and they can access that entire pretty exhaustive list of general checks and asset-specific checks in this page here. You can go all the way to the Python code. Okay, so just to wrap this up, we should talk a little bit about the dashboards that Longroad have set up. And I'll mention again that these dashboards, like our builders, are built in Python, so they're very flexible and can be configured by the user. So this is one that Longroad has set up. It's basically a summary of all of the events at each wind site in this wind dashboard, and how many events are there and how many have been reviewed. And then those events are split by the priorities that the reviewer has set them. So here we've got, as you scroll down, sites that have events that haven't been reviewed. That then signals to the performance analysis team to go and review those events. So it's a good high-level summary here. They've also got, data quality checks that they've built. If you go into projects, you can go to specific sites. So this is for, the site manager that's only interested in this particular site. Here we've got a summary of the events only on this site. We can go into performance heat map. This is going to show you the events in time series for that particular site. So here we can very clearly see that this particular turbine has had an ongoing intermittent issue for quite some time now. And set the same thing up for temperature. So these are all of your generator temperature events across your site. So for a site manager, this is gold dust, because it basically allows them to look at a high level what's happening at their site. And we can go into, you can set up anything you want really in these dashboards. So here, Longroad have prescribed a performance check for each turbine in one view for that site. You can change the timescale here to look for all of that data in the last 30 days. So you can see how flexible those dashboards are, and these are really generating value. They're not dashboards for dashboard's sake, which we see a lot of in our industry. Okay, thanks very much. Again, I'll point you towards this webinar, or just reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.